the speed of light?
Light out.
Wait till you grow up. Your paycheck will vanish. Americium was named for America. How about curium? Did you ever hear of Marie Curie? Curium? Marie Curie? Nobody's heard of Marie Curie anymore. Only person, yeah, Mariah Carey. The only person to win or earn a Nobel Prize in chemistry and physics was a woman, and it was in the 1900s when she couldn't even get a job teaching. But once she got her first Nobel Prize, then they're like, oh, okay, we'll make you first woman professor ever. So, but anyway, physics and chemistry, do you know how hard that is? There's one guy that's got 2 in physics, but nobody else has 2 Nobel Prizes in chemistry and physics. And even the women don't know that. That makes me mad. Okay, we don't want to keep him too long, so you guys, are you going to promise, cross your heart and hope to fly, that if I take you out and show you the star car, it's been signed by 11 astronauts and Nobel physicists, and
it's weird.
And it's all beat up, but... So if we look at that, will you promise when we come back you'll do your chemistry? Yeah! And you'll learn it, and you'll smile, and you appreciate it? Yeah! And you'll never think chemistry is hard? Yeah! Even when you get to high school, you'll be correcting your teachers? Yeah! I'm proud of you. Somebody count those elements. Can they run out, or do they need their coats? We'll take the parking lot to show the car. I'm going to need to use them again, and I'm going to give you guys different ones to keep. And what I want is you guys go home, guys, gals. You know, I used to think for girls to say, hey, guys, you know, but then these 3 girls, I was walking down Berkeley, and a girl got out of the car, and she goes, I'll see you guys later, and there were 3 girls in the car, so I guess girls say guys now, right? So
I'll see you girls later.
Nothing like guys.
Girls later.
And gals makes me feel like I'm in South Carolina or something. El Paso, Texas, where I was last week.
Can I have one?
Yeah.
Okay, so does everybody almost have one?
Oh.
Here's a poster for your class.
Go like this.
This confuses me.
Okay, one more. Okay, so does everybody have one? What's going to happen is there's a magic number in chemistry. Everybody know what the magic number is?
5.
No?
2. 92.
I'll give you a hint.
99.
Anybody ever see a stop sign?
Maybe.
Probably don't, because your parents drive right through them. No. A stop sign, who knows that geometric name of the shape?
0.
Called an octagon.
8.
Wait, octagon, have you ever heard of an octagon? 8 sides. That's what a stop sign is. 8 sides, 8 corners. In chemistry, we call it the octet. Because what these elements do, all the protons, neutrons, little neutron buddies, everything's in the middle. And then what happens is the electrons are the important thing, but an electron's tiny compared to a proton. So if the proton was the size of this room, guess how big an electron would be?
Like 8 times?
She's not smiling. The size of her head.
8 times!
Okay, so electrons are tiny, but you know what? Where's all the brains in this classroom? Teacher's head, right? The electrons are what are important in chemistry. And every book in the world starts with protons and neutrons, and the kids get them all mixed up. Even in college, kids will tell me that an electron is bigger than a proton. So it's not. Now all the protons and neutrons in the middle, the electron's way far away. How far is downtown Bakersfield from here?
Like 15 minutes. 20 miles.
Okay, so if a proton's the size of this room and the smart electron's the size of her head, guess how far apart they'd be?
Like
Downtown Bakersfield. Okay, so the electron is going to be on the outside. So who knows what element, hint number 1, has 1 electron? Look at your table. What element has number 1?
Oh. Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. Okay? What happened? What's element number 2?
Helium.
Helium. What do you think the number 2 means?
2 electrons.
2 electrons. And what happens is this forms what they call a shell. Because we have some helium here too, huh? Well,
Make it pop. No, keep going, keep going. Bigger. Bigger. Keep going. I'm carrying on.
okay, now,
If I held a match to a helium balloon, what would happen to it? What would happen to it if I held a match to a helium balloon?
it would what? It would pop. Do you know how many people say it would explode?
Awesome. Do it again.
They say it would explode. Oh, I'm getting dizzy. This is why kids aren't supposed to do this. If this was hydrogen, and I held a match to a hydrogen balloon, what do you think would happen to it?
Blow up.
So hydrogen would blow up, but helium would just pop. And do you know why? Because hydrogen, how many electrons does hydrogen have?
1.
It's got 1 proton here. It's only got 1 electron. Something about a pair makes neon totally inert. Did you come in late? You got a table? Right in front of you? Periodic table?
I want to be interviewed.
Okay, so listen. Helium is what they call an inert gas, a noble gas, because nothing will react with it. Okay? Hold a match to a helium balloon, it pops. Hold a match to a hydrogen balloon, it explodes. The way hydrogen exists is they got to get the pair. So that's why it's written H2, 2 hydrogen atoms to form a pair, and it bonds them. So since the protons now are far apart, they're able to combine with oxygen and combust. Hydrogen gas. Have you ever heard of hydrogen fuel? It's like in the news all the time now.
They might make cars.
That's what they want, hydrogen. Do they use that as a fuel now, hydrogen?
Yeah.
In what? Anybody ever seen the space shuttle take off?
Yeah.
For real?
Nitrous race cars.
It's used in the space shuttle. Anybody know what it combines with? Liquid
Acid.
oxygen. So do you know what comes out of the space shuttle's 3 main engines? Water. Hot, very hot, gaseous water. That's why what I teach is rocket science. Did you ever hear like, oh, it's rocket science, like it's real hard? It's harder than water. I'll show you water in a minute. So anyway, if this was hydrogen, let's tie this up.
Can you put the...
Okay, so if this was hydrogen, here, can you hold that for a minute? You're going to hold it real tight? You're not going to pop it up in the air or anything? Promise? Okay. Now, do you know what people usually say? Ew, it's spit. It's not spit. Do you know what it is?
Carbon dioxide.
What do I breathe in? What do I breathe out?
Carbon dioxide.
And what comes out? I'm like a human space shuttle. What am I breathing out? CO2. Water. So it's not spit, it's water. Have you guys ever seen these tanks?
Yeah, it's like okay.
You want to see a trick that they don't tell you about? If I fill this balloon full of helium, what happens? Floats up, right? Do you think they would tell you to only fill a balloon like maybe half? And then you wouldn't have to buy 2 of these? You could get twice as many balloons out of it? What do you think if I fill this halfway with helium? What do you think will happen to it? I can already tell it's too heavy. If you get real good, you can. Oh, it's too heavy. So what you do, everybody take a deep breath again. What did you just breathe? What did you just breathe in?
Oxygen.
How much percent? Do you know percents yet? Like 100%?
Yes.
Okay, we'll pretend. Listen, don't make me yell because it hurts my throat. I'm old and I've yelled because I've had bad kids and bad cities and I got to really yell and my voice wore out. So consider you breathed in $1, okay? So $1 is 100 pennies, right? We'll just call pennies percent. So 1%, there's 100 of them, okay? So breathe in again. How much oxygen do you think there was? How many pennies out of $1? See, again, this is stuff they don't teach until college.
50, 500, 25,
It's about a quarter. 22%. 22.3 to be exact. But we'll call it a quarter. 25 cents. What's the other 75 cents that you're breathing?
Oh.
There's a little bit of water, but mostly the atmosphere. People don't realize this.
Pollution. She said pollution.
You're breathing pollution, probably. Somebody actually told me Bakersfield is like moving up the list. You're like in the top 20 or something.
Top 10, I think.
I don't know if we can believe him, but I've been to Houston and you can't even breathe there. You're not used to it. So, I'll give you a hint. It's two atoms together. So like oxygen is O2. Remember I said hydrogen is H2. There's a couple other ones. Chlorine is Cl2. Fluorine's F2. Bromine Br2. So now what you got is, if you get good, you can make it what's called buoyant. So it just stays perfect. And I knew I blew too much in that. But this is 78% of what you breathe is called nitrogen. N2. So an N2 molecule is two nitrogens together. So what happens when you breathe oxygen? You ever hear of photosynthesis?
Yeah.
You ate the water and the CO2 that made sugar. Then when you breathe oxygen, it burns it, combusts it, and you breathe out CO2 and water. So we're like the opposite of plants. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Plants make CO2 and water, we breathe it out, and then they go making it again. Great little cycle, huh?
Ew.
But the key is, remember, 75 cents out of $1, actually 78 cents, is nitrogen. And you know why that works so good? Because nitrogen has this thing called a triple bond, so it won't break up. If we had more oxygen around, guess what would happen?
Everything would blow up.
Everything would just spontaneously combust. Trees, everything else. This is why they're so worried about global warming and the percent of oxygen. If it went up like even 2% more, if it was 24%, a lot of this stuff would just spontaneously combust. It wouldn't even need a spark. So, chemistry and the environment. So, you got to learn all that. Okay, so what I was saying now is, we're going to go through the periodic table, which I just call the table of the elements. The next element, number 3, what's that?
Lithium.
Lithium. Now see that it's on the other side of the table? Look at the front. I'll show you the back and all that fun stuff in a minute, because I know you get tired and brain dead. I'll let you catch your breath. So look at the front, flip it over to the color side, the color side, the color side. Number 3. See, lithium's got that one little flower next to it?
Yeah.
An asterisk? What happens is it's the equivalent of like 1 electron, because once it gets 2 on the inside, that's all that'll fit in there. So the third one has to go out farther. So do you think it'd be easy to pull that one away or hard?
Hard.
It's further away because it's all positive in here. Where's my red one? Red is positive. I usually always do green, positive. For this one, there's 3 for lithium. So this electron can come or go. What about number 4? What's element number 4?
Beryllium.
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 How many electrons does beryllium have?
4.
but only